Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt. With me today on the phone is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how you doing today, buddy?
All things considered, I'm doing pretty well. A little under the weather, that's why I'm not there. I apologize to you and the folks that normally watch us live on Facebook. We're not there tonight because I'm a little under the weather. And I don't know about you, but when I get a little bit sick, I'm a huge baby.
Oh, yeah, so you are the prototypical man cold.
Yes, I would say so.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. You're allowed to have that time. You don't get sick often. I think that if you get sick and they want to call it a man cold, they can call it a man cold.
I'm not sure if it's a cold. Hopefully not. A little stomach bug maybe, but yeah, I'm working through it.
You want to give us any details? Or are you good?
Yeah, no, my stomach was bothering me a little bit today, all day. I thought it was just maybe from eating. Anybody that knows me knows that I eat ice cream for dinner every night, and lots of bad things in between. So I figured it was just my body telling me, take it easy, pal. And as the day went on, it got a little worse and a little worse. And I tried to get a little exercise this evening, and that probably was a mistake. But I don't know. I'm progressively feeling not so good, a little more so all the time, but I think I'm going to be fine.
Well, let me tell you, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to still do this podcast. That's over and above what needs to be done.
Well, you're doing all the work because you have all the equipment. All I'm doing is calling you. Yeah. But thank you.
Yes.
So thank you.
Well, hey, listen, it's going to be a good one. We got a lot of stuff today too. We got we're going to talk a little bit about James Harden and Mr. Russell Westbrook. We got the All-Star Weekend coming up this weekend. God knows the NBA All-Star Weekend is one of the most fun times for the two of us. More for you probably than me, but still, I love it. And then there's some MLB free agents. Real quick, before we get started, I got a question for you. So,
yes,
it's the NBA, it's the NFL, but then it's just MLB. There's no "the" in front of MLB. You can't say the MLB. That sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Yes, you are correct.
Why is that?
It's just MLB.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's let's see. The National Basketball Association, the National Football League, the Major League Baseball.
It just doesn't sound right, does it?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't really know why, but you're right. It does not sound right to say "the" in front of MLB.
All right, so we'll get off that. Let's get directly in. Oh, first, let's let everybody know. So the Nosebleeds Sports Podcast usually comes on Wednesdays, 10:30 p.m. on Facebook Live. Like we said today, Adam's a little under weather, so we won't be there. So you can catch us tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, on SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple Podcast, iTunes, CastBox, and recently added Spotify and Google Play. Now, I haven't found it on Google Play yet, but I got an email telling me that it's there.
Anybody that uses Google Play, well, I guess we won't know because you wouldn't know unless you see. I don't know how you would know. But anybody who's not using Google Play to listen to this and uses Google Play for other things, for music or whatever, jump on there and see if you can find us on there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go on there tonight. We'll get this thing. It should be 2 episodes up there. This will be the 3rd one on Google Play. We'll get that bad boy on there for you guys, and we'll be rocking and rolling, brother.
Great work by you setting all that up.
Hey, great work by you as well. As well. All right, so here's what we got, man. So Russell Westbrook is on. Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. How do you say his name? Russell Westbrook. Russell.
Yes.
Russell
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook will be, and James Harden are both on tremendous streaks right now. James Harden is tonight again goes for over 30, so that puts him at how many games now? Are we at 32?
That's 31.
31.
So he ties Wilt for the second longest streak
And
of 30 or more points in a game.
The longest streak is also Wilt Chamberlain, which is 65 games. And then Russell Westbrook it just continues to do his thing. What are we looking at here? Who's more impressive?
I like, first of all, both of these streaks are just incredible, and it makes me so excited to be an NBA fan in this era. The players that we have right now are just so awesome to watch. Russell Westbrook, of course, 10 consecutive games with the triple-double. He, for the third year in a row, which is people aren't even talking about it anymore. It's so common. The third year in a row, he's averaging a triple-double.
So that first year he did it. That was everybody talked about it. That was all that was out there. It was Russell Westbrook is phenomenal. This is something that hasn't been done since Oscar Robertson. This is going to put him in a hold. And then James Harden was really close to doing it that year, and even LeBron James was only I believe he was an assist away from doing it. So, there was it was very impressive. But now he's done it 3 years in a row. What's the big deal now?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that people are just like, oh, okay, he's just averaging a triple-double. And people are even like dissing Russell Westbrook from all this too. For the last 3 years, people have been talking about he's just chasing stats. And that drives me crazy. Look, when he's close, when he's like an assist away or 2 assists away or something, and there's still time to get it, yeah, he might try to get it. But he doesn't start the game.
He had 5 assists in 8 minutes the other night.
Yeah, and that was right. And he was trading assists with Paul George, who actually got a triple-double that same night as well. So they were teammates that got triple-doubles. That was unbelievable too. But that was Russ's 10th consecutive games with a triple-double, breaking, again, Wilt Chamberlain's record of 9 in 1968, I think it was. So, by the way, how good does Wilt look right now? I mean, he's got like every record, and they're being broken now, or almost broken. But
it took him 50 years to do it.
Right. His name's coming up every day now in the media, and it's that people hopefully are realizing how great Wilt was. But anyway, for me, I like Russell Westbrook's 10-game triple-double streak a little bit better than James Harden's 30-point streak. Because Russ is affecting every area of the game. And by the way, he's third in steals, which doesn't have anything to do with his triple-double, but he's playing a little more defense now. I think Paul George is rubbing off on him and the other guys. OKC is one of the best defensive clubs now, and Russ is enjoying that. But he's averaging 21, 11, and 11, and it's a nightly thing. It actually surprised me that 9 was the record. I just thought sometime during the last couple of years, Russ must have gone on, because he's had streaks of 5, 6, 7 several times.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah, just because he's affecting the game in so many different ways, not just scoring, and he's averaging his, I think, fewest amount of points since his rookie year at 21, but Paul George is averaging like 30 something.
Paul George is having an MVP type year.
He is. Yes, he is. So my pick is Russell Westbrook, which, as far as which one is more important, although I'm mesmerized by James Harden's 30-point streak. He almost lost it the other night. When he did get his 30th game, he had to score 11 points in the last 3 minutes to do that. So, yeah, you know what? He's chasing that a little bit too. He realized he had like 23 or something like that in the fourth quarter, and he had to start. They actually kept him in a game that they kind of had in hand. But lucky for him, they gave up a little bit of the lead, enough so that he stayed in the game, and also had a bad shoulder too in that game. So they kept him in to try to get that exactly, what people are dogging Russell Westbrook about all the time. Harden's doing the same thing. So, but my pick is Russ, just by a little bit. What is your?
Listen, here's the deal. I think that this James Harden, the more I'm looking at this James Harden thing, what James Harden is doing, 30 points a game. 30 points a game. That's phenomenal, first off, and to do it for now 31 games in a row. There's just, I mean, how many guys in the NBA have scored 30 points in a game this year? I bet you could count them on your hands and toes. Bet there's, well,
Yeah.
and he's
Well,
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably 20, but he's doing it every single night, game after game. So anyway, listen to this. All right. So his usage rate is 40.2%, which means he either takes the shot or turns the ball over 40% of the time that Houston has the ball. So obviously he's got the ball constantly, almost half the time. But the one that gets me is it's not just that he's out there scoring. So he also let's see, what is it? I got all these silly things written down here, and I don't know how usage rate works and all that, so I had to do a bunch of looking up, but that was basically it. He is scoring, or he is also assisting on 40% of the rest of the baskets made by the team. So 80% of the time the ball is in his hands and he's doing it. Right now, per 100 possessions, he is scoring 122 points.
Oh my God.
122 points since this streak began. Per 100 possessions. That's the most incredible thing. He's outscoring the greatest team in basketball history in the Golden State Warriors. They're at 114 per 100 possessions.
Gracious.
I'm sorry, 116 per 100 possessions. That's unbelievable. That right there alone, the fact that James Harden could walk out, and as long as he had the ball, he could just play 1-on-5, and he'd probably beat half the teams in the league.
I don't know about that, but
you don't think he could go 1-on-5 and beat everybody? I mean, unless it was the Lakers, of course, and LeBron was playing.
Well, he is making like deep step back threes all the time. So as long as as long as they don't Quinn double team him or whatever that word
they
is.
got to stay they have to stay in his zone, man. They can't do any more than double team him.
Okay. So in this fantasy game where James Harden is playing against five other
How about
guys
5
on the
James
floor,
Hardens? 5 James Hardens.
Oh, he would definitely beat them.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
none of
not
them would play
fair.
any defense, right?
That's not. Yeah. That would be a high scoring game too.
That's
Could you imagine that game?
That's the easy joke.
5 James Hardens.
It would be like 500 to 100.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. It probably would.
They'd all score 100 points.
Yep.
James Harden.
And they're going to give up way more than 100 points, just to let you know.
Oh yeah.
5 James Hardens. I know the poor guy gets knocked for not playing defense, but he doesn't play defense, and that team would score.
He's playing a little more now than he used to, but yes, he is still deficient in that area. But what's another thing that's incredible about that to me is he's shooting 13.4 threes a game, which I'm pretty sure leads the league.
Yes.
He's got his 3-pointers made, 3-pointers attempted are just way above everybody else, including Steph Curry, who's second in all those things. But he has outscored everybody else by so many, in the league so far today. He's only shooting 37% from three. When you shoot that many and he shoots tough shots. That's the thing.
They are tough shots.
He's guarded because he just does the between the leg thing. He'll do some jab steps. He'll dribble the ball between his legs 6, 7, 8, 9 times, make a little move. He might drive a few steps inside the 3-point line and then use that step back, sometimes double step back, travel move that is not a travel now. Because he's
the triple.
scoring.
It's the backwards Euro step.
It's except more steps.
Yes, except it's more steps. That's correct.
So anyway, he's shooting 44% from the field, which he shoots 24 shots a game. So for that, 44% is not that bad. 37% from three isn't all that great. But again, he shoots more than anybody else. So and the kind of shots he's taken, the kind of shots that he makes sometimes, oh my goodness, it's unbelievable to watch. And So, but here's my question about this, though.
Yeah.
The last few years in the playoffs, the big thing with Houston came really close to beating Golden State last year. But one of the storylines for Houston last few years in the playoffs has been James Harden fatigue. So he has such a big workload throughout the season. He is tired out. He's tired out in the playoffs and hasn't performed as well as he did, as well as he has been in the regular season. And they suffered for that. His workload is all-time high right now. What's going to happen in the playoffs?
Well, hopefully now that Chris Paul's back, they'll be able to give him a few more spells, and maybe that the offense won't lack or become basically nothing when he's not in the game, because everybody's used to standing around and just watching him, which once again, that's kind of a knock on Harden, but at the same time, it is what it is. That's how that team plays. That's how they win. But with Chris Paul, with Chris Paul back in the lineup now for almost a solid week, or almost a solid 2 weeks, he is able to come out, be more of a floor general, get people involved a little bit better, and Harden can get a few more spells, and they don't lose as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they can figure that out, and they can make that work, then they just need to give the guy some rest, man. You know what? You don't need you don't need 30 points for 65 straight games. You just don't.
Well, he's not getting it anyway.
You don't think so?
No, absolutely not. He won't even be close.
He had 36 tonight, or he's already got 36 tonight.
Yeah, I think he ended up with 42 tonight.
Yeah, so there you go.
He had 36 late in the game, so he knocked down a few more shots.
He needs another. What does he need? Another 34. I mean, he's got to do what he's done.
To go.
Yes, he does. All right. So I don't know. I to be honest, the Russell Westbrook thing. What impresses me more about him this year is not the triple doubles, because that's his game. It's more the fact that he has relinquished the point scoring and became a phenomenal defensive player, and he puts that all on Paul George. Paul George apparently came up to him last year and said, "Dude, you are the most phenomenal athlete I've ever seen. You should be on the all defensive team. You should win the Defensive Player of the Year award. You're that athletic." And a guy like Russ, that kind of light a little fire under a guy, and it's showing this year for sure.
Yeah. The very last thing I have on this, in Harden's 31 games that he scored 30 or more points, the Rockets are 21-10 now because they lost tonight. In Westbrook's 10-game triple-double streak, 9-1, Oklahoma City.
They have a better team. I like this
they
Oklahoma City team. They don't shoot threes,
the rest
but
of their team though.
Yes, they don't shoot threes nearly like anybody else in the NBA. But I really like this Oklahoma City team. It's nice to see a different style of ball being played instead of just everybody come down and chuck up threes.
That's right. Now, Russell Westbrook and James Harden will be participating this weekend in the All-Star game.
That's right.
Which is Sunday. We have All-Star Weekend. It's probably my second favorite holiday of the year.
Yeah, behind
Christmas.
Behind Christmas, okay.
Behind it goes Christmas, which includes Christmas Day NBA basketball.
This is bigger to you than March Madness, the first weekend of the tournament?
Oh man, that's right there too.
I gotta tell you, dude, that's my number one. The first weekend of the NCAA basketball tournament. You know what I do. Girl Scout cookies are out. I got the tag-alongs and milk. I'm set up, dude. But that's my time, dude. That's my time.
Of course, you have the celebrity game Friday night. You have the Rising Stars Challenge.
The celebrity game is always fun because there's always somebody out there that they're taking it a little more seriously than everybody else.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Quavo was the MVP last year. He looked pretty good. Michael B. Jordan in the past has shown like a pretty good player. Several other people. So
for years, Kevin Hart would come out and do everything. He could.
Yeah. He was like 3 or 4 time MVP. Yeah. And also really funny the whole time too.
Oh man, I'm so glad they started miking him up. It is great.
You have to mic that guy up. So anyway, you got the All-Star, the celebrity game Friday night, and then the Rising Stars, the Mountain Dew Ice Rising Stars game.
Yep.
So you have Team USA versus Team World. They've been doing that for a little while now, and that's always really interesting. You have, man, I'm looking at the rosters here, and it's really tough to decide who I think is going to win this game.
I'm going with the World. I'm taking the World.
You know what? So am I.
Taking the World.
Yeah. They've got Luka Doncic. They've got Ben Simmons, who it's weird to think that he's in this game. It's technically his third year in the league.
I'm surprised they let that happen. I mean, it's first and second year guys, and I know he had a full year where he didn't play, but still.
Right. Yep. Really quickly, world team: OG Anunoby, DeAndre Ayton, Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think
Bogdanovic.
Yeah, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm gonna mess this one up bad. Rodions Kurix.
Oh yeah, Rodions.
He's from. He plays in Brooklyn. Nobody Markkanen, Josh Okogie, who had a great game tonight, guarding James Harden. By the way, James Harden had 42, but Josh Okogie blocked like 3 straight possessions. He got a steal, and then after fouling Harden on a 3-pointer that Harden made, 4-point play, really dumb play. The next 3 possessions, I think it was, Josh Okogie stole the ball or blocked Harden's shot. So he had a nice game tonight. Anyway, Cedi Osman and Ben Simmons for the world team. Team U.S. is Jared Allen, Marvin Bagley the third. I almost said Junior. Lonzo Ball, who will not play because he is injured. John Collins, De'Aaron Fox, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kevin Knox, who is taking Lonzo Ball's place, Kyle Kuzma, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Trae Young. Those last 3 or 4 guys there make me pause and think about maybe switching my pick to this one. But you know what? I think Team USA has better individual players. I think Team World is going to be a better team, though. I
agree. And I don't think anybody's even going to watch this game.
No.
This is probably, not. Out of everything on All-Star Weekend, this is the least watched, least paid attention to of everything. You agree?
I would hope that this is bigger than the celebrity game. At least I would.
Sure, but I think people like that celebrity game.
I like it too, but I mean, I don't know. If you're a basketball fan and you're watching any of this stuff on Friday night, you got to be excited about these first and second year guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, not a lot of people are going to be watching either one probably on Friday night.
Let's go. So then you have Saturday comes up, and
that's the big one.
That's the big one. So you got the skills challenge, the 3-point contest, and the slam dunk contest, which has made a comeback over the last few years. To be honest, the slam dunk contest is still a little slow in the beginning and middle, but it's definitely gotten better. They've done some good things with it. But my favorite is the 3-point contest.
So is mine. I'm glad you said that.
By far my favorite. The skills challenge is fun, especially because they do the big guys versus little guys now. And the big guys have won the last few years. Karl Anthony Towns, I believe, won it last year. Anyway, that's always going to be fun. Luka Doncic's in it this year. I think that dude is going to win this. De'Aaron Fox, the speed of De'Aaron Fox could be what wins this for him.
I'm so glad you said that, because my pick for the skills challenge, which, by the way, Mike Conley, Luka Doncic, De'Aaron Fox, Nikola Jokic, Kyle Kuzma, Jason Tatum, Nikola Vucevic, and Trae Young are the participants in that. For me, it's either De'Aaron Fox or Trae Young, because speed is a big deal in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big deal if you have speed. And some of these guys come in here and kind of are a little too cool for school.
Yep.
And try, but not really. And then some guys come in here and they're like, this is a competition. I'm winning it.
You know what? I'm taking Trae Young, because you got to hit a 3 at the end. And I'm taking Trae Young because he's hitting that. He's nailing that 3.
That's so funny. I was looking at this earlier. I'm like, I think Trae Young's my guy in this. So we got the same pick for this thing. It might be more fun to disagree, but I like agreeing more. So anyway, both got Trae Young in that. Then you have, in order by what it's going to be, the 3-point contest is after that. This is what we both are most excited about, because I think this is the best field.
Yeah. How about
for any of these things.
there's two things that stand out to me in this.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers, Seth and Steph Curry will be in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. And God love him, the old man, Dirk's going out there. Do you think that Dirk Nowitzki will get every shot off? Will he make it around?
No, of course not.
I don't.
The guy does everything 1 mile an hour. The guy does everything slower than I do, and I do everything slow.
I wonder if because he's over 60 that they'll give him an extra 10 seconds. do they have a senior citizens rule in the 3-point competition?
Well, he's in the All-Star game because they made a special exception for him, so why not?
Yeah. So he's taking full advantage of that. He's like, I'm doing the 3-point competition. He might be in the dunk contest.
Yeah, he's
not. But.
It's already kind of unwatchable. Dirk Nowitzki got in the dunk contest. That guy can't leave the floor anymore. I mean, he can't run, he can't jump, the guy can't move. But I'll tell you what, he can still shoot a little bit. He's shooting actually his worst percentage of his career since his rookie year right now. But
when you turn 60, you go out and play against all these young bucks and see how good you are.
Right. He's not the focal point of the offense. He's not playing nearly as many minutes, so it's not as easy to get a rhythm going and stuff like that. His volume of shots isn't nearly what it used to be. So yeah, he's not going to shoot it as well. But it'll still be fun. It'll be fun to watch. He's going to have a good time. You know he is. The guy's got a great sense of humor and he loves messing around.
Oh, he'll joke around the whole time.
Yeah, but besides him, you got Kemba Walker, Chris Middleton, Damian Lillard, and then from here on, like the best shooters in the league: Buddy Hield, Joe Harris, Danny Green, Steph Curry, Seth Curry, like you mentioned, and Devin Booker. That's an awesome class of 3-point shooters for this competition.
I don't think this is a great competition for Seth. Not Seth. Steph. Steph is more of a catching. I don't know. He's more of a play around shooter. Devin Booker, who's won this before, that's my guy. Devin Booker. I'm going Devin Booker again. Or Kemba Walker. For some reason, Kemba Walker gets into any kind of competition and that dude wins. He wins it. Yes. I will never in my life forget that guy in that quadruple or 6 overtime game against Syracuse in the Big East tournament years and years and years ago.
Yeah. Yep. Kemba's a special player. It's going to be fun to see where he goes when he leaves the Hornets. But, yeah, for me, I'm going to take Steph. I'm going to take Steph Curry. And if it's not him, I'm taking Seth. One of the Curry boys.
Really? You're taking one of the Curry boys? I think that I don't think Steph Curry makes it to the second round.
Really?
Yeah.
It depends on how serious he takes it.
I've seen him before not take it seriously and get knocked out. Yes. And Clay came out and won. I'm a little disappointed Clay's not in this, to be honest with you.
So am I. There are a few guys that are great shooters that I wish would be in it. But anyway, you still have a great field. I'm taking one of the Curry brothers. Seth is super underrated, I think, as a shooter. But I think people might get a chance to really see him shoot the ball this weekend that don't pension to the Blazers. But anyway, so that's what I'm most excited about. 3-point competition. And then, of course, you have the dunk contest.
The dunk contest.
This is the one that I'm least excited about, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
It's first of all, I find it odd that there are only 4 participants. You have 10 or whatever it is, 3-point shooters, and you've got, let's see, 2,
it's
4,
because they
6,
know
8,
it's because they know that this is no good. This is going to be late. It's going to be the third event of the night. It says 8 o'clock, but it's probably not going to go off till 9.
No.
And,
yeah, it'll be way later.
And get them out of there. Just like everybody's going to be snoozing, sleeping. Let's just. Oh, it doesn't start at 8. I'm sorry. The whole All-Star weekend Saturday night starts at 8. So that dunk contest ain't going off till 11 o'clock.
Yep. So your dunkers this year: Dennis Smith Jr., Miles Bridges, Hamidou Diallo, and John Collins. No great big names that people really get excited about. Now, all these guys can dunk.
Dennis Smith Jr. can get up, buddy.
Yes, he can. He's the smallest player in this thing.
Yep.
I'm just going to tell you right now, I'll skip ahead to my pick. Dennis Smith Jr. is my pick.
That's your pick? Well, here's what I'm going to do. Mostly because I love the name. I'm going with Hamidou Diallo.
I was watching like 3-minute clips of their best dunks from this year, and that guy, man, that guy can really get up. A lot of his dunks came off of steals that he stole the ball and went on fast breaks. Dennis Smith Jr. dunks on guys way bigger than him all the time.
All the time.
Miles Bridges gets like tip dunks a lot. John Collins, almost his entire 3-minute highlight film of dunks were Trae Young lobs.
Oh yeah.
So that guy mostly dunks off of lobs.
So you can almost guarantee Trae Young will be involved.
You got that right. Yes, he will. He will most likely one of those, throw it off the side of the backboard or something. And that's what I wanted to get at here is I need some creativity. I really need some creativity. There have been some awful, awful dunk contests in the past because guys don't know what to do or whatever. They get nervous or something, or they try something fancy and it doesn't work and they can't do it.
And they go and they try it like 5 times and then nothing's going. And then all of a sudden they just go up there and do a 360 or something.
Yeah, or a windmill or something like that.
There's nothing better than listen. There's nothing better than dunking on your first attempt, and when you dunk, it can't be a finesse dunk. Like the stronger the dunk, the better in my mind. That looks better. Like when Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine had their little duo where they both should have won. I think they gave it to Zach LaVine officially. Mm-hmm. Those two, I mean, especially Aaron Gordon, like ferocious dunks. When they finished, like they threw the rim is bent at a 90-degree angle at the end. You know what I mean? It's not like they're just touching the rim and letting go. You have got to. That's what gets the fans excited. That's the other part. That I think is important.
You've got to try to rip that thing off.
You've got to shack that thing.
But be creative. Please be creative.
It's hard to be creative dunking. I mean, I mean, since Vince Carter in 2000, what other really creative things were there? Vince Carter was doing some really crazy stuff, throwing things off the sides of the backboard and standing behind the basket, and a lot of crazy stuff. Nate Robinson was fun just because he was small. Mm-hmm. He won, 3 or 4 of them. And then you got Dwight Howard, who, that one was fun because he came out as Superman and put the sticker up on the backboard to show you how high he got. And that's fun. I like that. But once it's done, you can't do it. What else is left?
Possibilities are endless.
Blake Griffin jumped over a car. It was honestly the worst dunk of the night.
Yes, and that's another.
The car was under the basket. He didn't even really jump over it.
He jumped over the hood.
Yeah,
and he just jumped basically on top of the hood and swung himself with the rim past the.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is these guys try to do props and try to a lot of these guys now will have like a Legends jersey on underneath their jersey or something.
Yeah.
And for their last dunk, they'll take their jersey off and show that or whatever. And then try to do their dunk, whoever won it.
Larry Nance last year.
Right.
Larry Nance last year with his dad's jersey.
And that was cool. That was cool. Larry Nance is one of the best because he's one of the biggest jumpers in the league. And that was cool. His dad won a dunk contest, so that was really cool.
The very first.
Yeah, exactly. In 84. So, but there's nothing worse than when it takes forever to get like bringing a car out or bringing some big prop out or a bunch of people to line them up to jump over them or something.
Although
it takes forever to set up, and then it's a crap dunk. It's you just jump over somebody and dunk it or whatever. Yeah. It's like that's why it gets slow.
What's your favorite all-time dunk in the dunk competition?
It's one of those Vince Carter dunks. So give me any one of those ones from 2000.
All right, so let's say this. Since 2010. Since it really got crappy, anything after Nate Robinson's last one, so Blake Griffin and beyond.
Right.
What was your favorite dunk? I'll tell you mine. There's no question. It was I don't know if it was 15 or 16, when Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, when Aaron Gordon jumped over the mascot and put the ball underneath him.
Legs.
That was my favorite.
that's the first one that came to mind before you even started saying that. I'm right there with you, because those were the two, 15 and 16, when those guys went at each other. Those were the two best dunk contests.
Yeah.
Since then, and I don't know. That was it. And then you had Glenn Robinson the third win it in 17, and Donovan Mitchell win it last year, and those were not that good.
So to show you how much I must have fallen asleep in 2014. It says the East won the dunk competition. Paul George, Terrence Ross, John Wall. What is that? What happened?
They did every competition as an East versus West. So like the total scores of all those guys versus the total scores of all the guys that were the three guys that were in it from the West.
Yeah, there's a reason that only went once.
That was the worst. Exactly.
There's
that
a
was
reason
the
that
worst
only
one.
Once.
Yes.
All right, so that's the dunk competition. What else?
So then Sunday night is the game. You got Team LeBron versus Team Giannis.
How much fun was that? Watching the draft, that was pretty cool. When Giannis comes out and says, "Is this tampering?" and LeBron's answer is, "There's no tampering on All-Star Weekend."
Yeah, and that's something that was funny. Those guys were messing with each other and stuff. But it's kind of getting under my skin a little bit that people are truly saying LeBron drafted his team in order to try to set up, to try to set up his Lakers team in the future.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You really think so?
Are you kidding? Did you see the team? It's everybody that's going to be. It's everybody that's going to be a free agent in the next 2 years, except for Giannis in 2020. Everybody else is going to be a free agent.
I don't know. I just have a hard time. Believing that. That's fine. I mean, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Ben Simmons. They've talked about
all those have been talked
Bradley
about.
Beal.
Yeah, the only one on his team that's not would be James Harden. But then Kyrie Irving, that talk has been out there. Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson. I mean, I don't. I mean, not the whole team, but I mean, on the other side, is there anybody that has ever been mentioned in this? None of these guys. Nobody.
Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's been mentioned a little bit about possibly joining forces with someone, maybe even the Lakers.
I haven't heard too much about that, but it's not the big names that you're looking at, and all the big names he got them.
Well, okay, so looking at the rosters, who do you like in this game?
LeBron's team. Come on, LeBron's on it.
Okay. Who
do you think I'm gonna take?
Let's say take LeBron off of his roster and Giannis off of his roster. Which team do you like? Because
you took Giannis off as well, I'm still sticking with LeBron's team.
Okay.
Kyrie, Durant, Harden, Leonard. I'm sticking with that. AD, Cat, Klay Thompson. I'm sticking with that. Because what am I looking at over here? You're looking at Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and a whole bunch of media. I mean, Russ too. Russ is over there, but that's it. I mean, Blake Griffin. I'm not saying these guys are bad. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying comparatively to LeBron's team.
Yeah, and you look at Chris Middleton, D'Angelo Russell, Vucevic, Kyle Lowry. Those guys are probably the bottom, in the bottom 5 or 6 of all the All-Stars.
I mean, they do have Dirk, who's averaging 4 points a game this year.
Yeah, that was poor Giannis got stuck with Dirk because LeBron had to take his boy D Wade.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was. It's gonna be fun. See, it's the game is usually disappointing because it's not competitive usually.
Running up and down, throwing the ball around, ball gets thrown off backboards all the time because everybody's trying to dunk and do craziest things or take threes from 2 steps inside half court, and it's right. I can't stand it.
I think that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see a lot of threes. I think we're gonna see a ton of threes. And James Harden might shoot the ball 56 times, and Russell Westbrook's going to get a triple-double. And
Russell Westbrook might have a triple-double and be in the 20s in every category.
he could. He very well could in this game if he wants to. Because everybody knows that he's going to be fishing for stats, right?
Yeah,
He's
that's
gonna
what
be
he does.
chasing
He's a two-time MVP of the All-Star game. He loves being the MVP of this game. That's his, I think he was a little bummed out because AD scored 52 last year, but it is what it is.
Right. Well, okay, that's going to be I'm excited even though the game's kind of not that great. It's still fun to see all the best guys in the league this year playing on the same floor. Once in a while, they'll get a little matchup or whatever, and somebody will get serious and try to stop each other.
Yep, you'll see like a Joel Embiid, match up against like Ben Simmons or something like that. The teammates against it. You'll see something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish that they wouldn't have made the trade and put Russ over with Joel Embiid because I would have loved to have seen those two go at it.
Yeah.
Purposely run a switch off to see what happens there.
Yeah. But Joel Embiid loves going against those other big guys every night and talking a little trash. He's had some run-ins with Karl Anthony Towns, who's on the other roster, LaMarcus Aldridge, Anthony Davis. He's going to go up against these other big guys that are the best big guys in the league, and he loves trying to get the best of those other guys. So we might get to see some of that.
Nothing like that's gonna happen in this game. You ain't gonna see anything crazy, I don't think.
Yeah, probably not. Everybody's just out there to have fun and try not to get hurt.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm all excited about All-Star Weekend. But I'll tell you, during the dunk contest, that starts so late and it gets so boring sometimes.
Yeah.
I might fall asleep.
You'll probably see people in the stands asleep.
Falling asleep, which brings me to a swipe left, swipe right.
All right, what you got?
Falling asleep or purposely falling asleep in public where strangers can see you sleeping.
Big time swipe right. I swipe right to that. I used to work a shift at U.S. Bank in between lumber companies, and I worked from 5 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And if anybody knows me, 5 a.m. is really not my style at all. So I took my lunch was at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I took my lunch break, and we had a quiet room that had a couch and 2 chairs, and I just went in there and I ended up bringing myself a little blanket into work and just curled up on the magic. It's a magic couch too, dude. I've tried to do this 100 times. I go in there and I fall asleep right there. Anybody can come in and see me. I'm sure I snore or whatever. It is what it is. But so I have a dream when I'm in there, right? This one time I got a dream. There's a deer in front of me. And I look at this deer and I was like, dude, I'm dreaming. I can ride that deer. And I walked up, jumped on the deer, and we rode around for a while. It was pretty cool. I was just riding on the deer, and I was saying to myself in the dream, it's a dream. I think over to my right, there should be a White House, and boom, there's the White House. Hey, look, over to my left, I want to see, Joey Votto. Boom, Joey Votto drives by. What's up, dude? How you doing? Yeah, it was the greatest. So then every time I would go take a nap before I fell asleep, I'd be like, remember, it's just a dream, just a dream, just a dream. And I would do it, and it happened all the time. I can't do that anytime else. I tried it a million times. Only on that couch at U.S. Bank did it work. It was a magic couch. Although there was one time that I fell asleep, and I knew it was a dream, and I woke up, and I thought that I was walking back to my desk, and it was still dreaming.
That's incredible to me that you, in your dream, realize that you are dreaming or not.
Have you never had that before?
Maybe.
I mean, when I was on that couch, having all the time on that couch, that magic couch, I always knew I was dreaming in my dream. But, yeah, it's happened a few other times where I'm like, holy mackerel, I'm dreaming right now. this is awesome, and you can make yourself do anything. Just don't get too close to something. Like if you walk too close to it, like if you go to walk into a door or something like that, then all of a sudden you wake up. You never see what's in that door. But like you can just walk around, you know what I mean? Just be chilling like, hey, what's up? Like, it's my dream. I'm going to be playing baseball. You're going to walk from, your house to a baseball field, and next thing you know, you're hitting bombs, like Todd Frazier at Great American Ballpark.
So okay. You realized you were dreaming. You could, first of all, hold on. You said, don't get too close to something. You rode a deer. You can't get closer than that.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, man. I just remember waking up, like, sometimes I'd be like, oh, I'm going to have my wife pop up in this dream. And every time I try to get close to her, man, boom, wake back up. Like, shoot, that was about to be a good dream, too. Nah, so it doesn't always work. So I don't know. Maybe there are things, maybe animals you can get up on, but you can't walk indoors, or females.
What if you could ride any animal in a dream? What would that be?
Any animal that I could ride, it would probably be. I'm gonna go with a hummingbird.
Oh wow, that's fast.
Yeah,
you fly around.
You know what? I take that back. I get way too nauseous. Those things are real here and there, real quick. I'm probably gonna go with something slow in that case. I might ride. I don't know. I mean, you got to get something big, right? Let's do like a woolly mammoth.
Oh, okay.
There's got to be an animal now. See, now you're getting me into all kinds of crazy things here. I'm thinking an elephant, but I can ride an elephant. So maybe an ape. I think an ape. I think a gorilla would be fun.
Like a piggyback ride on a gorilla?
Yeah, like the little baby gorillas do to them.
Okay. All right.
What about you? What's your animal of choice?
Maybe an ant. Yeah, maybe an ant, or maybe an anteater, or an aardvark.
There you go.
Something like that.
I don't even know what an aardvark is.
I don't really know either, to be honest with you. But it's something. It's the first one in the alphabet. It's the first animal in the alphabet. Double A. And they're every one of them's name is Aaron.
Yeah.
Also double A.
Aaron. Aaron.
Aaron
Aardvark. Yeah. Aaron.
So whether the list is sorted by first name alphabetically,
I
or
think
last
they all
name
drink a
alphabetically,
lot
it's gonna
too.
be first. They drink a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like they're in AA.
Like Bacardi, or
I just feel like they're all in AA.
All in AA.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, you didn't
know.
No good. No good. Strike
That's
two.
Just my,
we have much better chemistry
brain.
when you're sitting next to me, and I can eye you down on a joke.
That's true. I can see your facial expression.
Have you ever? Do you even remember dreams?
I don't. Some days I feel like I hardly ever dream.
Yeah.
But when once in a while I'll get like a really, really vivid dream that feels real, really, really real, and then at some point I'll wake up. And I'm like, wow, man, that was crazy. And then I'll remember the dream, but it usually kind of fades throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like the further away you get from waking up, the less you remember about the dream. But yeah, man, I don't know. I know that I've had some crazy dreams before, some really weird dreams, but I don't know. Have you ever had a dream about falling or dying or something?
Never had one dying, but the falling has come through. You know what I used to have reoccurring dreams when I was a kid. About every year on my birthday, there would be a bunch of like ghouls and goblins and monsters and werewolves, and they got birthday hats on with a big giant cake, and they're walking towards me real slow, singing "Happy Birthday" real creepy, and that happened for like 10 years when I was a kid.
Wow!
I'll never in my life forget. I can see them sing right now. I can see them singing. Happy birthday. Oh, freaks me out, man.
So it was scary. It wasn't like.
Oh, it was scary as I'll get out. No, these dudes. Are you kidding? You know me at all? No, I'm not a scary movie guy. I don't want anything scary in my life. Back up. Get away from me. I don't want any ghouls, goblins, werewolves, Herman monsters. I mean, I couldn't watch the monsters, dude.
Oh, that was a comedy.
I know. Scared the hell out of me.
So no monsters, no Addams Family.
No, nope, I'm good. I don't need any of that creepy, dark attic spider webs and all that. I mean, the spider webs don't bother me, but I just don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
It's interesting. It's interesting to talk to people about their dreams. And I don't mean their dreams like what they would love to do in their life. I mean, when you are sleeping,
Your sleeping
there are
dreams.
things that you cannot control. Although apparently you are one of the few people who can control your dreams.
Dude, I'm telling you, I think it's only in the last 8 years since I've been out of that place. I think it's only happened maybe twice where in the middle of the dream I knew it was going down. And usually when I figure it out, I get so excited that I just wake up.
That truly was a magic.
Dude, it was a
couch.
magic couch. Like I'm half tempted to want to go buy it, see if I can purchase their couch out of that room so I can bring it downstairs and be able to take me some fun naps.
Wow.
Could you imagine if you could control your dream from the beginning?
That would be incredible. I would love that.
Yeah, be awesome.
I
had some really good dreams.
I would be hooping with everybody. Yep. Oh my gosh. So speaking of this, I was just going to say I'd be hooping with like all kinds of all-time greats and my favorite players and stuff. Speaking of all-time greats / favorite players, yesterday, by the way, on Twitter, you were on Twitter
at Sick With It,
and I am on Twitter at AdamSchmidt44. Yesterday on Twitter, actually 2 days ago on Twitter, there was an NBA account. It's not an official NBA account. It's like at NBA something.
Yeah.
But it posts all basketball NBA stuff. And it posed a question, just threw a question out. Who is the most underrated player ever of all time?
Okay.
So I got all excited. Of course, I can't make one decision and narrow anything down to one.
Sure.
Right. So I took advantage of the opportunity I retweeted and added,
added other people to it.
Who it was. And I did like 6 or 7 guys. Right. And I could have kept going, but I stopped. One of them was, I think it was the first one I did was Mark Price. Mark Price, okay. Former Cleveland Cavalier guard. People actually, I've heard people compare, say he was like the first Steph Curry. He was like great ball handler, passer, and shooter. One of my all-time favorites to watch. Just go watch anybody listening to this. I'm telling you, go on YouTube, watch Mark Price highlights. You will not believe how good the guy was. And even if you know who he was, you'll be like, I don't remember this guy being this good and this fun to watch. I'm telling you.
Mark Price. All right. So Mark Price just got way too much time on this podcast.
But he still doesn't have enough because let me tell you this.
Tell me.
The real Mark Price liked my tweet.
Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you something. I did not tag him in it. It wasn't at Mark Price, whatever it is. I didn't tag him. I just put the words Mark Price.
Now, how do you know that was the real? Just because his Twitter
it's
thing
a verified
says
account. It's a verified account. He has a personal picture of
his
wife and his Twitter. You have to get verified by Twitter. Like they will do that for famous people.
How does Twitter verify somebody?
They have ways, but
how do you know
people
if
with
somebody's
a little blue check mark, little check mark.
Oh, that's what that means.
Check mark next to it. That's a verified account. That's like famous people and people who get verified by Twitter. It's like an official account.
How many followers do you have to be verified? I want a blue check. I want to know what Twitter does to verify me.
Well, you start working on it. Start working on getting verified. Submit your request to be verified and see what they say.
So you had a verified account like your tweet, dude. You're halfway to being verified now.
The real Mark Price.
Good for you.
My tweet. I was very excited about that. It really means nothing.
Did Mark Price have a nickname?
Or
was it just the real Mark Price?
No.
So I'm going to tell you right now that the Nosebleed Sports Podcast does a poll every week in this current poll that we are in is a tournament of nicknames, greatest nicknames in NBA history.
That's correct.
Right now, number 12, the Admiral, is currently upsetting number 5, Pistol Pete Maravich. It is a 1 vote difference at this time. 1 vote is all it is. So there's a couple hours left to see what happens. But 53% to 47%. Good luck. I think I voted for Pistol Pete. If I'm correct, let me see here. No, I voted for the Admiral.
I think I voted for Pistol. But yeah, I think we're about to get our first
upset
here
of the tournament. All right, so who is next week's?
Okay, this coming week, we will have the logo.
Jerry West. How about underrated nickname right there?
The number 6 seed, the logo, versus the number 11 seed, the mailman, Carl Anthony Malone.
This is easy for me. This is the logo all the way. I think the logo should have probably been a little higher than a 6 seed.
Maybe. But I think people are going to vote for the mailman. I'm telling you. I don't think it's going to be an upset. I think the mailman's going to get some votes. That's a pretty good nickname. Yeah, the logo.
Dude,
yep, that's
you are the logo. You're the NBA logo. There's no better nickname than just the logo.
It's gonna be that'll be a decent matchup. I agree with you though. I think the logo is gonna take it, because yeah, I mean, you are the logo. You are the most recognizable. Actually, I guess the most recognizable picture, maybe.
Yeah.
In the NBA history. So yeah, that's our matchup for this week. The logo versus the mailman. Please get on Facebook. It's gonna be up all week. So if you're listening to this on any of the platforms, jump on Facebook, go to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast page, vote on the Nosebleed Sports Podcast greatest nicknames of all time.
There you go. All right. So that brings us to, unless you got another dream story you want to tell.
I don't think so. I wish I could remember more of my dreams, but they don't stay in there, man. I don't know. Next time I have one that I remember when I wake up, I'm gonna write it down and share it with you.
Hey, you're gonna start a dream journal?
I'm just gonna it's gonna be an audio dream journal though, because I'm gonna say it on the podcast.
There you go. Well, you got to write it down as soon as you wake up, otherwise you'll forget it by the time the podcast gets there. So you got to start a dream journal.
True.
My old man used to have a dream journal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freak about names, man. Needs to know what all the stuff means. He thinks, it's crazy. Wow. I think dreams just happen. Like it is what it is.
Most of the time it's a dream about something you have no control over, and the weirdest thing you could ever imagine. You couldn't even think up something so weird.
Yeah.
Like
somebody from like your past will just show up in a dream from like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and you're like, dude, I ain't seen you in a minute. What are you doing here?
And suddenly you're building a go-kart with your landlord.
Yes. There you go. Exactly.
So that's all I have on dreams. Now,
last but
not least, I think Kyler Murray once dreamed of being a Major League Baseball player. That's like one of the worst transitions I could possibly think of, but that was the one I thought of, so that's what I went with.
There you go.
So he committed to football, by the way, this past week, but he was drafted in the first round by the Oakland A's last year, and signed a deal, and he had to give all his money back because he's committing to football now. But so the Oakland A's just kind of lost out on that draft pick. So they're going to have to probably make that up with maybe a free agent.
There you go. And there's quite a few free agents left, as pitchers and catchers reported yesterday. A lot of good stuff going on in baseball. However, one good thing that's not going on in baseball is the fact that nobody's really signing any free agents.
It's very strange. I don't ever remember seeing anything like this before. Do you remember?
I feel like last year was kind of the same. It was real slow. You got a lot of teams that aren't looking to throw a lot of money into free agency, even though the Reds came out and said they had money set aside for this year's free agency market. They haven't signed anybody to free. I guess you could technically say they signed Sonny Gray, but they had to trade to get him first. But
Right.
but
Zach Duke, I think this week
yeah,
they did sign him for the bullpen, but
that's right, Zach Duke.
no real big
No,
needle movers.
AJ Pollock went. He was kind of a bigger name. You had so far who's the first baseman went to the Cardinals. Paul
Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt signed with the Cardinals. So there's been a few out there that have gone, but there's a lot of really good guys. Josh Harrison's out there. I mean, my gosh, he's one of the best second basemen in the league. Mike Moustakas is out there. You still got, obviously, the two big guys, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. Pitchers. I mean, Adam Jones hasn't been signed yet. And I know he's getting a little older, but I mean, he's not that old. 33. I mean, that's kind of hitting your prime in baseball.
Yeah,
it
really is.
Cargo is out there. He's 33. I think that is going to be whoever signs Carlos Gonzalez. That's going to be a huge signing. That's still to come. But the fact that these guys are still out there, Dallas Keuchel is still out there. Who at one point in time the Reds were talking about. Clay Buchholz. There's a lot of Gio Gonzalez. There's a lot of really good starters out there. James Shields. Doug Fister just got signed, didn't he? I think I saw that. Anyway.
Yes. Or did he get signed or did he retire?
Oh, he retired. That's what it was. He retired. So anyway, there's a lot of really good guys out here that need Craig Kimbrell. I mean, relievers. Everybody's out there.
Jared Saltalamacchia.
Nobody is signing these guys. What is going on?
I don't know that anybody cares about Jared Saltalamacchia. I just wanted to say his name. So that's why I said it.
I don't even try to say that name because I can't say Russell Westbrook without fumbling over it. So I'm not trying to say Saltalamacchia.
It's Russell Westwolf.
He retired, by the way. Jared Saltalamacchia officially. No. Salty
retired. Okay.
Yeah, officially on January 28th.
I didn't saw. Oh wow.
He gone.
Okay. He gone.
So here's the deal. So in my point of view, I've said this before. I believe that the big names you're going to see, there's a lot of little guys that have signed little deals, 1-year deals, 2-year deals. That they're bottom of the rung players, but the big names out there haven't signed because I think a lot of these guys are holding back. I think their agents aren't willing to sign anything until these two big names go. You see Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, they're going to break the bank. When they sign these record deals that they're going to sign, then on the way down the line, you're going to see these guys then they're going to have a feel for what they can sign for. I think that's what it is. Although at the same time, I'm hearing a lot of people say that it's teams that just aren't out there pushing.
Yeah, I heard that too, and that's interesting to me. People are saying, so many teams are rebuilding, and that's just confusing to me. I don't see how you can be, how can there really be 25 teams rebuilding or something? I mean, because you got your top few, but
yeah, I really do think that in any given year, more than half of the league is rebuilding, and it may only be what they would consider a 2-year process, but or maybe they're at the end of it or at the beginning of it. I mean, it's all different. I mean, most of these rebuilding things take 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I mean, unless you're the Yankees, unless you are the Red Sox,
Angels, Cubs, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Angels, Cubs. Even the Angels seem like they're dropping some guys and moving pieces around. It seems that I mean that can be considered. Just because you have Mike Trout on your team doesn't mean you can't still be rebuilding. Just because you have a phenomenal offense, I mean, the Reds were like 10th, had the 10th best offense in the league last year, and they're definitely rebuilding. There's no question about it. But they're, there's so when in that sense, when you're rebuilding, then you're not out there to spend a ton of money on a 30-year-old, 33-year-old guy.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it depend on how much though? We're going to see Machado and Bryce Harper sign big contracts, maybe all-time big contracts, but a lot of these guys, I know they're waiting because that'll kind of set the market a little bit, but most of these guys aren't going to sign for anywhere close to what those guys are signing for. So, I mean, don't you kind of have an idea at least what the market is going to be for you, even without those guys signing?
I don't think because I think once those guys go, you realize, then you see how much more money than the last biggest contract is there. Then your mediocre run-of-the-mill contract, you can compare it to somebody who signed the last year. You know about the percentage more that you should be getting on your deal from last year, even if you're mediocre. So, well, I shouldn't say mediocre. Better than mediocre is where that's going to go. I think where your deals where people already know about where they're at and about what they're worth are the little guys. These minor league deals with an invite to spring training deals, and Melky Cabreras and Lonnie Chisenhalls and guys like that.
Brandon Phillips
still hasn't got anybody. He's 38. He'll get a minor league. He'll have a minor league contract and be able to have an invite to spring training. But I don't. It's that's the kind of guy. Yeah. You know what he's worth. You know where the money's at for guys like that. But there's a lot of guys out there I think that are. It's gonna be crazy. This is gonna come down to February 26th was the date that JD Martinez signed his deal last year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
I didn't realize it was that late.
Think about that.
I mean, it looks definitely like we're gonna see the same thing this year. I mean, it's been so slow. Free agency's been so slow, and what's funny too is Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, they've met with a bunch of teams and everything, and I guess they've been offered, but I don't feel, at least, like I'm hearing offers, like I feel like in like NBA free agency and stuff, you hear every single, like, this team just met, within seconds of the meeting. This team, Kevin Durant just, flew into New York and met with the front office there, and they offered him whatever. Yeah,
whatever the max. Well, a lot of that is they're getting max deals anyway, and it's pretty much how much they can get. So that's a big difference where you have an uncapped league like Major League Baseball where you have no idea what these guys could possibly get. Not 100%, but within a little bit of money here and there and years on the deal, what a max player is going to end up getting in the NBA. Sure. So I mean that's why I think you hear that. But with this, and this could be a lot of I don't really want to play a whole lot of ball in spring training, and bus around from city to city in Arizona or Florida, and I might, some of these guys might just want to be chilling and have a little bit longer spring.
Yeah, I think most players do not care for spring training, and you're probably right. That's I'm sure a lot of guys are like, I'd love to sign a team and have the security of a contract and everything, but I don't want to show up in the morning to the facility and work out for a while and then have to play 2 innings of a game and then sit there through the rest of the thing. Or
none of these guys sit in the dugout for the rest of the games in spring training. Yeah. They get out and they go to a backfield and do a little bit of work or go hit 18 holes somewhere. They're not sitting around. Once they get pulled out of these games, they're not staying around.
They're leaving, which is weird. I mean, I know it's spring training, but what other sport can you be taken out of a game and just leave? Is there any other sport that
not like a preseason game in the NBA? Nope, you're sitting there, but it's a totally different feel.
It is.
I mean, got split squads and while half of your team is playing a game that only goes 6 innings because they don't want to throw a certain pitchers or something like that. Going over here, you might be back on a little, not whole field, taking soft toss. Like,
Right.
it's probably a little. I mean, it's definitely different. But to me, I think that's what makes spring training so much fun. I think if I was a baseball player, I'd be like Brandon Phillips. Like, pitchers, catchers reporting, my ass is there, dude. Let's go. Let's go play ball.
Yeah, a lot of guys. It's always fun to see who reports early and stuff, because then you kind of get
Anymore,
this
it's almost
thing.
everybody.
Right. Yeah, it is. For a while, though, it was like, oh, man, this guy's going to have a big year. He reported early. He's excited about it and stuff. And then that wouldn't always work out that way. But yeah, it was it is cool to see guys report earlier than they need to and stuff, because those guys that's the last time they're going to see their families for a while. And,
yep.
But anyway,
so what do you think here, real quick, before we get off of this, before we finish this up? What do you think about the Reds? I heard the Reds were thinking about offering Ryan Madson a contract.
Oh, I mean, you know exactly what buttons to push for me, don't you? You know exactly what buttons.
I know you're not feeling good. I know you're not feeling good, so I figured I'd just rub it in a little bit. Maybe I can make you make a run to the bathroom. You're
gonna make me throw up. You are gonna make me throw up here. Yeah, I did see his name under the free agents who haven't signed yet, and I had a terrible thought that I'm not proud of, but I thought, I hope nobody signs him and he has to retire. He's forced to retire.
He's 38 years old. It's probably going to happen, to be completely honest. It's probably going to happen.
I just want him to sign, I just want him to sign with a team and then pitch to Votto, like maybe on opening day, and Votto hits a comebacker right back at him, hits him in the exact same spot in the knee that he hit Votto last year.
And that's the end of the year.
And that's the end of his career.
Adios. Oh, man, Adam's over here ending people's careers.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I feel bad about
rough.
That.
Oh, man, that's an un-Adam Schmidt like saying right there.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
No, you're not at all. Well, we'll see what happens with NBA, with the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Free agency, and we'll see. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to see what the Reds still have up their sleeve, because they didn't get the JT Realmuto deal. Philly ended up signing him, which we both agree that we're fine with either way. It wouldn't have mattered either way. But now you got your Dallas Keuchels, and you got some other guys out there that could be fun for them to try to get into, even though they've already signed 4. They've already traded for 4 starting pitchers. Eventually, they're going to just decide that all of their young guys aren't going to get to pitch this year.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But I know that your guts are not feeling good today, so we're going to cut this bad boy off a little earlier than normal for you.
I'm totally fine with that. I should probably get a little sleep, see if I can get healthy, rest up a little bit. Try to make it to work tomorrow.
Ice up your stomach, ice it up, ice up your backside. Are you to the point, like, because I'm fine talking. You can plead the fifth if you want. Like when I had my stomach issues, I mean, I was peeing out the backside, man. It was just water coming from anywhere water could come from, and it was bad news. Are you that bad?
I visited the lavatory a few times today.
Nice. Good. Okay. So that's all I need to know. All right. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here. We appreciate. Don't forget to vote on the Nosebleed Sports Podcast best nicknames in NBA history. You can catch us on Facebook Live every Wednesday, 10:30, except for this Wednesday when Adam doesn't make it because he's visiting the lavatory. We'll be on SoundCloud Thursday morning, YouTube, Apple Podcast, iTunes, CastBox, Spotify, Google Play, you name it, man. We're there. The only one, we're still a month and a half away from getting ourselves onto iHeartRadio. You have to be in this certain thing for 2 months, but we're almost there for that. And once we're there, if you got another platform you listen to podcasts, please get on, let me know. I will get on and try to make it happen. So That's about all I got, man. You got anything before we get out of here?
No, I'm all set. Great job tonight, running the thing solo, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you still
the
coming in.
bye.
I appreciate you still coming into work, man. Even on the DL.
Working from home tonight.
Working from home. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It worked out good. All right, we appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for listening in, and don't forget to turn your headlights on.